Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, while we were celebrating all of the amazing movement that's going on at the state level for our gun rights, which is incredible by the way, there was some sneaky underhanded action coming from Washington. Now, shocker, that would never happen. It would always happen, because that's what they do. Anyway, so there's a lot of things that we got to talk about. A lot of you guys mentioned in recent comments and videos last night about what they slid into this omnibus package. Well, I'm going to walk you through it step by step. I've organized this video as best I can to go high level and into the details. So watch this video so you guys can know what is fully going on, what went through, what didn't go through, because there's a lot to negotiate here. And also, this is going to come back, and at least parts of this are going to bite them right in the butt. You can mark it right here because this always happens to the leftist Democrats when they go too far. I'm going to give you some examples, everything laid out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. Everything is linked in the description box for your review if you want to dive deeper like I just did this morning. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor who made this video possible because it was a special deal for you, and then we're going to hit it and hit it hard. All right, so our sponsor, Armed American Supply, is a small, family-run business owned by a retired law enforcement officer and his wife. They design, print, and ship everything in-house from their shop in southern New Jersey. They have a deal for my viewers for 30% off site-wide. If you're the type who loves Second Amendment and blue-collar apparel, use code 30OFF at the link provided in the description below to take advantage of that offer. And thank you to Armed American Supply to making this video possible. But now, I'm going to walk you through this. Like I said, high level, low level, because this always comes back. Check this out. So this is from the link source roll call. Violence Against Women Act set for renewal in spending package. Now this passage would mark the first reauthorization since 2013. Okay, so the Violence Against Women Act is the Joe Biden's little pet project. Okay, there's a lot of gun control stuff in there, but there's some stuff that got taken out. I'm going to walk you through everything. Please watch this whole video so you guys are in the know. Congressional negotiators are poised to reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act in the fiscal 2020 spending package unveiled early Wednesday. This was like midnight Wednesday. Setting the measure on the fast track for passage because they slid it into an omnibus package. They always do that. And on the record, I hate when they do this. Both sides. Vote for what you would do. Put a bill out. Stand behind your convictions. Don't slide it into stuff. Anyway. Last month, a bipartisan group of senators unveiled details of a new authorization bill, which removed a key firearms provision that had held up talks for months. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. The final measure no longer closes the final measure no longer closes the boyfriend loophole that would have prohibited dating partners in addition to spouses from owning a gun if convicted on domestic violence. That's the red flag language. So this was removed and it was not included in what was actually sent through. Let's keep going. However, it does have other firearm provisions such as requiring FBI to notify local law enforcement in case of a failed background check for a gun purchase. That's drawn opposition from groups like American Firearms Association, which claimed it would subject law-abiding citizens or gun owners to law enforcement proceedings. So this is basically, this is where it gets really into the weeds for us, because they removed the red flag language, which I'm going to show you, but they put in this other stuff with Nick's denial, and the thing that I'm really, really worried about is the deputization of the ATF agent into local law enforcement. We're going to dive into it right now. So, for their credit, this is from GOA, all right? So here's what did not make it into the bill, so we're crystal. Sections 101 and 102 grant funding programs to train police to execute red flag gun confiscation orders. Again, the bill is linked down there, and there's the sections if you want to read it. Section 801, an expansion of the Lautenberg misdemeanor gun ban, Biden's boyfriend loophole. And Section 802, funding to turn state-level stalking laws into red flag gun confiscation laws. All three of those things completely removed, not in there. However, here's what was in there. Sections 1101 and 1102, the Nick's Denial Notification Act to launch criminal investigations into firearm transfer background check denials, even though 9 out of 10 times the system falsely denies a law-abiding citizen. And we're going to talk about that in length. Here's the second thing. Section 1103. Funding for ATF to deputize local police to enforce federal gun laws, especially to undermine Second Amendment Protection Act, or SAPA states. Now, that last part, this whole thing is going to bite them in the butt in the future, but right now we got to worry about the threat to the Second Amendment. All right. So now for the bill itself, okay, I'm going to break down both of those things. So what you're seeing is the intro to the enhancing public safety portion. Basically, it's the Nick denial notification. If you get a deny, right, you can get a deny, a hold, or a green light, essentially. If you get a deny, you're now going to be reported to local law enforcement that you got a deny and you tried to get a gun that you were not enabled to have, right? That's the premise. And I'm trying to stay as neutral in this as possible because I want to just give you the facts so we can make our own assertions. But basically, if you get denied, you're going to be on a list and an investigation. Now, here's a very important thing in the language specifically. I'm not going to read all of this, but it's on the screen. Like it's linked. There's also things in here where if you are proven to not be guilty of what they're accusing you, it has to be removed. So basically, the FBI has to say, this is happening, this person got a deny, investigate it, local law enforcement. And if it turns out that upon further investigation they were wrong, they have to send the same thing that says, hey, stop investigating them. Now, again, will that happen? Will that not happen? I'm not saying on that. What I'm saying is this is what the language that was passed, okay? Now, the big thing that is really fascinating about this, and this is where this is going to bite them in the butt, is they now, every single year, they have to give a detailed analysis of who got denies, who investigated denies, how did they do the denies, were they wrong, were they right? Every bit of data that they have now said they were going to collect has to be released on a yearly, annualized basis from the in front of Congress, which is public record, which means you and I get this data and we can analyze exactly what's happening to further undermine their gun control desires. That's one. All right, so now let's go to this part that is actually, I don't like this at all. Special assistant U.S. attorneys and cross-deputized attorneys. So they can make any attorney in any state working for the DOJ or the U.S. Special Attorney. They're an assistant, right? So essentially, you're taking federalized power and distributing it across the states by deputization from the Attorney General, which essentially means, I need more footprint there. You're now part of our investigation. You have more powers because here comes the Federal Department of Justice. All right? And this next part is where they're going to deputize individual law enforcement officers to do the exact same thing. Now, this is the part where GOA was saying, getting around the SAPA protections. The whole point here is they can now go in and take a local law enforcement officer and say, hey, I've deputized you as a member of the DOJ or the ATF, and now they can enforce federal gun laws because they've been deputized. Now, of course, that flies in the face of them being local, and it definitely opens up a lot of red flags around the perspective of, so now we can basically have an ad hoc wing of the ATF or the DOJ in every single state, in every single locality, just by deputizing them. So now you just made your ATF essentially the national police force. Concerning. A little concerning. A lot concerning. But now I'm going to show you how this one's going to bite them in the butt. When a Republican takes office, by the way, it's going to happen, when they have complete power, how long until this exact language goes into another bill that gets passed in another omnibus bill, that goes and authorizes every law enforcement agency to support ICE? Everything the Democrats do that's underhanded, like when they repealed the ability to do filibuster for budgetary needs and get through reconciliation with the Health Care Act, with Obamacare, bit them right in the butt. When they removed the ability to filibuster judicial nominees, bit them right in the butt. Everything that they do bites them right in the butt because they are sneaky and underhanded and they only see what's right in front of them in the moment. But on the backside, that medicine sucks a lot worse when it's handed right back to you. That's what I've got for you. Let me know what you guys think of this report in the field below, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.